Hi everybody, Daryl Carter here. What a big weekend of racing we've got to look forward to. It is Wednesday, the 29th of October. It's currently 1:45 in the afternoon, but I'm getting excited for Saturday already. Saturday declarations do come out on Thursday morning. We've got some brilliant jumps action across the weekend. We've also got the Breeders' Cup to look forward to as well over Friday night and Saturday night. I just want to highlight a couple of horses to you just to maybe keep an eye on this week coming. The Charlie Hall was obviously one of the feature races of the weekend. Really tricky race, I felt, at this sort of stage to look at. We've got Protectorat coming back. Now, Protectorat can be very hit and miss. I remember being at Haydock for Betfair on Betfair Chase Day, was it Betfair Chase Day? On his seasonal return when he was destroyed 29 lengths by Royal Pagaille, and I thought, Jesus Christ, he looked like an absolute bag of rubbish as well, but he just may have needed the run. He definitely needed the run. He went very hard and fast and just fell into a bit of a hole. But then last year, Skelton's got him quite ready enough. He was beating 17 lengths at Cheltenham in the Paddy Power Gold Cup, but I thought it was a really good run considering he was running off 167. Again, just weakening towards the finish. Maybe he needed it. An older horse now. Maybe he will just need the run. I know Dan Skelton said he's put a lot of work into him, so he expects him to run well, and it won't be through fault of fitness that he's beaten. So I think he's very interesting. Pic D'Orie's got a bit to ask, bit to do here. 4-1 best price currently. These are obviously before the decks have come out, guys. Pic D'Orie for Paul Nicholls stepping up to 3 miles, but good ground should help him get the trip. I just felt last year over 2.5 or 2 mile 5. I think I just felt that he was sort of all out of the line really on a couple of occasions. One race really does stick out to me, and it's probably not quite right to bash him with this stick, but when you go right back to 2023 when he bumped into Shishkin at Ascot, he was absolutely legless coming across the line over 2 mile 5 that day. So he's got a bit of a stamina question. He's not really bred for it. He's got a bit of a stamina question to answer for me. Hewick, there's so much pace in this race. I can see Hewick, especially with the layout of the fences at Wetherby, where you have to be able to jump. There is sort of 3 or 4 in a row down the home straight. Pop, 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 pop. You've got to be able to jump. I can see him getting left well behind the 10-year-old. While he's a classy horse on his day, I don't think he is improving at all. Jello is very, very tempting. I must admit, Jello is very tempting. Now, he was beaten by 37 lengths or whatever by Gaelic Warrior at the back end of the season in an entry Group 1. He was smashed up at the Cheltenham Festival, but he's been a bit of an early season horse in the past few years as Jello. He absolutely slapped up Protectorat at Huntington. Now, Protectorat doesn't want to go right-handed, so he jumps out to the left. So perhaps that's a clear excuse. But he won really nicely that day. And then Protectorat slammed in 23 lengths at Windsor next time over the extended 6.5. And then he came back to Newbury and absolutely demolished the Denman Chase field, which included Garlaw, Sam Brown, and Hitsman, who has just won the Old Rowan this year. I do think Jello is possibly the one to be with. I think there's still further improvement in him. I think there's more to come. And I think I'd be quite willing to forgive those at the back end of last season. I just really don't enjoy backing Charlie Deutsch in the saddle. I really don't. He's not going to ride you out vigorously for a place. He's not going to ask a horse too much before the final flight. You know, he kind of needs his horses to travel. That's a big danger. But I do think there's plenty of upside to Jello. I think he could still have a really good season. He's gone very well fresh in the past. I think there's quite a lot to like. He was beaten in the Howden Gold. I backed him in the Howden Gold Cup last year behind JPR1, and it's like he should have won that race for me. I thought Charlie was a little bit weak on him and a little bit, he's won every year first time out other than that JPR. Won 3/4 of 11th defeat. So I do think he is the one to be with, and I'm just hoping that my, not dislike, but my, I'm a little bit standoffish when it comes to bets on Charlie Deutsch, because I like to back a Tom Bellamy or a Sammy Twiston-Davis or a David Bash, someone that's going to really give you everything for your money. But I think Jello is very interesting, especially with a pace setup that could be going. You've got the real whacker's going to go forward, Protectorat's going to go forward, Pic D'Orie's prominent. You've probably got the likes of Sam Brown, who might force a bit of pace. He was quite prominent in the Denman chase. If Croke Park comes, he's a forward goer. I thought it was a very, very tricky race. All in all, I really want to see them make up of the field, but I think the pace is going to be so. I mean, it's so important anyway, but I think it's going to be so crucial to this race. And the best jumper and the strongest stayer will win. Now, is Jello a real confirmed 3 miler? Well, he proved it in the Denman Chaser, went a good clip that day. So yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting race. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Charlie Hall below. We're going to stay with the Weatherby card quickly and just have a quick glance at the West Yorkshire Hurdle, which is on this weekend. You've got Strong Leader at 2-1, Potter's Charm 7-2, Take No Chances 6-1, Botox has 8-1, Winter Fog 8-1, Maxim 10-1, Dolly the Great 14s, Joy Mashan 33s, Staffordshire Not 33s. Obviously, this is before declarations. What an opportunity for Strong Leader. What a real good opportunity for Strong Leader. I think the market always overbets Potter's Charm, to be honest. He's got stamina to prove at 3 miles, and he's not achieved anything, in my opinion, beyond 142. So I think he's got a little bit to prove. They've got to run in to Take No Chances at Chepstow when staying on at the finish. This horse stepping up to 3 miles for the first time. I think it's no, not for the first time. Did win at Utox back in 2024. Over 3 miles, had beaten Highland at Warwick. Over 3 miles, had run over 3 miles quite often. Is an improving horse, but needs to find a hell of a lot if Strong Leader is going to run up to anywhere near the form that he showed last year, including that second in a Grade 1 at Aintree behind Hidden Valley Lake. So very, very surprised he's a little bit easy to back in the market. Switch over to Ascot very quickly. We've got the Sodexo Gold Cup and the Laveza Hurdle. We'll talk about the Sodexo Gold Cup live. There is a lot of horses here that have got double entries over the coming weeks and over this weekend. The Changing Man's at the head of this market. He is 5-1 for Joe Tizard's got a good record fresh. Also entered in the Colin Parker on Sunday. Also entered in the Coral Gold Cup. Now, this is a big talking point, the Coral Gold Cup, because that comes at the end of next month, and there is a lot of horses that are going to be laid out for that particular race. You see it all the time, you hear it all the time from these trainers that say he's got the Coral Gold Cup in mind. Jamie Sloan has actually come out and said that about Gar Law. Yeah, he'll run here, and then his next port of call is the Coral Gold Cup. So it's very difficult this time of year because you don't know how many horses are prepping for things. You must take it all into consideration and into account. But I suspect, given the Tizards, the way they are, the horses they've got, and etc., and the fact that the Changing Man was so good here, beating Leave of Absence, who won last weekend at Cheltenham in the Reynoldstown, I suspect they'll find this very, very acceptable to really go for. Big prize, 56 grand to the winner. I think Changing Man is very interested at the top of the market. Haiti Couleurs, what a success story he was for Rebecca Curtis last year. Ended his season with a dominant victory in the Irish Grand National. Now, this is another horse that you could think that this first time out might not be the time to catch him, and he could have bigger targets down the line. For all, this is a very valuable pot, right? But 152 is not beyond him on the balance of his form. And he was improving with every single start last year. He's a front runner. Front runners do tend to do well at Ascot. He's very interesting. Should he line up? Although you do start to question little things in your mind and start to say, well, why would you waste the market? It's not really a waste because of the prize money, but 152, you get what I'm saying. Catat Dore, brilliant winner at Kempton at the back end of last year. Beat Highland 15 lengths, although Highland was prepping for another race and then pulled up when favoured at 7-1 in the Ultimate Handicap won by Myertown. I think Sam Thomas will have this horse ready to rock and roll, and I do think this is ahead of the handicapper when he is on a going day. When he's on a going day, has been very consistent down to January, and it's only that last performance that you really need to put a line through. I think Catat Dore is very well handicapped when given the right opportunity. I wonder if this will be it. Lots of others to consider down the field. The likes of the Doyen Chief, a little bit unexposed. Barloo, Blow Your Wad could run here. Again, is on a fair mark on the balance of his form. But a really competitive race, as always, is this Sodexo Gold Cup. It was won by Shanti Classico last year, Victorino the year before, Our Power the year before, and 2021 Larry. So good race here at Ascot. We quickly run over for the final race to look at today. It's the Down Royal Champion Chase. Envoy Allen looking to win this race again. He has won it in 2024, was beaten by Jerry Colon in 2023, and won in 2022. But is he a bit long in the tooth now? They're sure to have him fired up for this, aren't they? He's 15 to 8 at the top of the market. They tend to go very slow in this race and turn into a sprint. That's the way I've found when I'm recording the speed figures for the last few years in this contest. Probably suiting that turn of foot of Envoy Allen. But does bump into a horse should he line up. Again, not final declarations. Spillane Tower. Should Spillane Tower line up, he has the potent turn of foot of a 2-miler and stays 3 miles. I think you can write off the last couple of runs of him last season. He didn't travel over to Kempton. He never has travelled now. He doesn't like travelling. He lost a lot of condition, but line through that King George run and then perhaps just needed it when second to Galopin des Champs. With no disgrace in running second to Galopin des Champs, of course. Found a 50. He's going to step up and trip and try and find out, see if he stays 3 miles. Pedigree was just... It's touch and go. Stellar Stories obviously entered over at Wetherby for the Charlie Hall, along with Croke Park. Garlaw, the same. Found a 50s in here. It's a good anti-post market to get involved with if you can find a runner. Western Fold has obviously been picking up a lot of races over the summer. An interesting quote from Gordon Elliott was, I was going to put Jack on him the last day, but Jack's going to have other horses to ride, when we get into the depths of the winter, which suggests to me that he has obviously been doing really well over the course of the summer, but been picking up those weak races. Fascinating contest at Down Royal. Can't wait for this weekend's racing. The Breeders' Cup is also on. That was just a little quick run through midweek. It's the first time I've done it. I just decided to do it randomly today. If you liked it, drop a comment below. Please like this video. Please share and please subscribe. If you want more of my tips, go over to the Patreon page, www.patreon.com/Daryl Carter Racing. Come and join an amazing community. Until next time, everybody, be lucky.